I think I'm live now already. Yeah. Excellent connection. I want to see my face in my life. Yeah, baby. I think I'm live. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to 5 a.m. Trading. I'm your gracious host, Crypto Mike Tyson on this bitch. And today, what we're gonna do today, really short live stream, We just wanna look at Bitcoin, at the charts, what's happening. We had a nice pump recently, so what's gonna happen next? I'm curious. I hope you too. We wanna know what's gonna happen to Bitcoin, to Ethereum, all the altcoins in the near future. We broke some important levels. You're gonna see right here. We just smashed through them, Nobody probably was expecting this, but let's analyze the market. So, back to the normal voice, boys and girls. So let's see. So I have a virgin chart, no drawings whatsoever on this chart, but I want to apply my trend lines strategy and analysis to this chart, and let's see where it will get us. So the first 4-hour line I want to draw is this king trend line, because this trend line was like the first line to break, so we could pump upwards, so we could go higher. It was probably one of the most important trend lines to break, so we could reverse the trend. So before that, let me do it like this. You see, from like April, we were just falling down like this, and we had to break this trend, and this was the very first level to break, because we were heading down. But then we had this king trend line from end of June, bam, many touch points. After we broke this right here, we could pump, and it was almost to be expected, because before that we were trying to reverse the trend. For example, right here, these were the first little attempts to break it. We went down, up, like here. This is the 4-hour chart, so this kind of lines, trend lines, they are very strong if they get broken. So right here we tried to break it, we broke it, and tried to go above it, but then we were rejected. 200 EMA, and also this is a ported level for 40,000, so we were rejected. Then we started to go downwards, and again created some new type of 4-hour resistance line that needs to get broken so we can reverse the trend. So we tried it again, and but failed right here. It was just a fake out. And then we did the same again, and then something different happened. So these lines, they went straight down, very steep, or how do you call it? So the angle was, let's actually see what was the angle. So the angle was minus 46 degrees. Right here the angle was about 43 degrees, and before that we had something like 42 degrees. You see, 42 degrees, or 43, then 46, and right here it seems like the trend started to change more. So we had right here a whole nother story. We had it negative 11 degrees, so it wasn't like this anymore. So okay, let me try something. And I'm on the logarithmic chart by the way. So the exact numbers of the angle do not matter, because if I zoom out, then they change, you know. What matters is the difference between them. So look, I can remove them all. I'm now on the logarithmic chart. We have the same we have the same trend lines roundabout, like here, and here. So, and again, if we analyze the angles, they will be changing. So the first ones were minus 59 degree, minus 53 degree, minus 57 degrees. And right here, like I said, what's important is the change. It stopped to go more sideways. We had only minus 16 degrees. And it was a huge trend line. It was a like 1 month long resistance line, 24 days. After we broke it, it was almost to be expected that we would go down significantly. But the probability that we will shoot up after breaking this kind of level is probably higher the flatter the degree is of the angle. And yeah, because ideally with the conventional style to breakout trading is to look for the W's, for example, like this. And a lot of people say that a horizontal W is much stronger than a tilted W, like this, for example. You see? So they try to disregard these W's. They wait for this W to close the horizontal neckline, and then they open the trade. So what it means is that the flatter the angle of the trend line, the higher the pump we might expect. So there must be a reason why all these traders, they look more for the horizontal W's. So anyways, so we had this pump after breaking this flat king trend line. I actually didn't expect it to go this high, but I missed this. I should have been taking opening orders, but I didn't. But this is the situation. And then of course we can go back and look for other trend lines which are maybe bigger. And believe me, there is one super important level. Let me switch to the daily. Of course there are many different super important levels, so I want to show you 1, 2, 3, and yeah, 3 important trend lines which are playing a big role in here. Okay, so the first one is, let's call it a God or Emperor trend line. So if we connect these two highs of the all-time high and then the first lower high, then we end up with this line. So this is probably gonna be a quite strong resistance upwards. If we still go up, then we probably will bounce from it and be rejected and correct it a little bit. And I'm on the logarithmic scale. If I switch to normal scale, it's very similar. It's still way up to go upwards. So this is the first important line that I wanted to point out. That will be our rejection somewhere maybe at 44,000, 43,000, depending on where we touch it. Maybe we touch it right here. Maybe we go down and do something like this. We will see. But this will be a important level to break. Another important level to break is obviously our no, not this one. It will be this trend line, I believe. Yeah, this might be important. We have two highs, higher highs, one high here, one high here, and maybe on 7th of August we will see if we if we cannot go above these levels before that. And if we approach it from the downside, this will be a strong rejection point. Okay, and another level, very important as well, is this one. And we already broke it. So actually it's almost the same as the other level that I wanted to show you. So you can create a so basically it's a W, but you can draw it from here, the neckline, or you can draw the neckline from here to make it horizontal, and this is what we're gonna do. So this is the horizontal neckline of our big W. Let me make this line thinner, like this. Let me remove the 200 EMA. So this was a super important level to break. So the very first important level to break to change the trend was this flat, almost flat king trend line. We did it, we broke through it. But then our next hurdle was this W neckline, because if you go from here, you can make a case of you can draw different patterns depending on how you interpret it. You can do it like this. So this is kind of a ugly W. You can make a case of a falling wedge, something, not falling but descending or broaden, like this. You see broadening wedge. Something like this, but it doesn't really matter. You can also say it's just a kind of a W. What matters is that we had this strong level of resistance and we broke above it, and this is super bullish actually. So I hope that it will have the juice to pump us above these levels, because the target of this structure would be something like this. You always take the height of it and put it on the breakout. So it might take us, the target of it might potentially be 53,000, but it's not gonna be in a straight line. So what is possible next? So everything depends basically on if we can stay above this neckline. If we can stay above it and do something like this, bounce from it, maybe dip a little short above it and then stay above it, like this, and finally break through this levels, this would be very bullish. This would be awesome. But on the other hand, it's also very healthy if we do a little correction right now. So we created a higher high, which is super good. And right now it's okay to have a little of retracement like this. So because we had literally 10 days of pumping. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pumpy days. Okay, this trend, this candle looks like a, yeah, it's a doji, but it's still bullish doji, So we had 10 days in a row pumping, and today might be the first day that we don't pump. And I believe we never had it in the last couple of years. 10 days in a row. I think the biggest what we had is 8 days. Sometimes we had 7 days, but 10 days in a row bullish. It's insane. So actually it would be very healthy that we correct a little bit. And correction means basically just the price is overpriced and doesn't deserve its levels basically, and that it should correct. We also see some possible divergence on the daily. For example, if you connect, let's say you go from here to here, it's a higher high on RSI, but still a lower high on the price. And also if you go further back to these levels, we have a lower high on the price but a higher high on the RSI. So if this confirms, so if we don't go higher, then the divergence will confirm. So if we, for example, go down like this and do something like this, then it will be a confirmed divergence. And also the RSI would then do something like this. So if this happens, it's a confirmed divergence, and we have it on all oscillators, also on Market Liberator, Market Cipher. The blue waves momentums are up, but the price is lower. But that doesn't mean that we will just fall down like a rock. No, it just means that at this point we will probably see some nice correction, and it will be a healthy thing to have. Because also if you trust the indicators, we see that we have some money flow coming in. So it's not a problem if we correct from here and do something like this, because all we need after doing it, the critical point will be that we create a higher low. So let's say if we correct from here right now and then do something like this, for example, and then go up again to 36,000 or even 31,000, everything will be fine, because it will be a higher low. We need to create a higher low, because this would mean that the trend is really broken. So we created a higher high. Before that, you see, we created many lower highs and lower lows. So lower low, lower high, lower low, a little bit higher high, but then lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low, and then we had a very, very higher high. And of course what we need now is a higher low as well. And let's say we do something like this, maybe like this even, then go up again. What we then will need is a higher high again. So we see this trend going up. And of course we will be creating some new trend lines upwards. And this will be, so the break of the trend is not confirmed yet on the daily. On the daily we had only had a higher high, but we need a higher low. This is why we need the correction, and then we'll see. And the first point of rejection will be this babies right here, of course, because we have this trend line going up. We have this huge emperor trend line. Oh no, it was just a divergence, so it's not the trend line. So the trend line is this, the proper trend line. So we have these two resistance lines, and right now we probably might be looking for some short opportunities. Let me see if you have some questions. No questions, all right. So and yesterday I think I believe I had a little mistake in my analysis. Let me show you. So I thought we would be going down very heavily yesterday already, because of two reasons. First, because we approached these levels and got rejected, and because of something else, but I will show you later. I have to have a call with my boys. I'll be back very soon. Good morning.